All right, my name is Brian Santos. I teach Spanish. Um, so I guess the question today is how to grade essay writing. And so in foreign language, it's always kind of harder because I think that in terms of language acquisition, I'm looking for things that maybe not a normal English teacher does. So a big part of what I do in my content is grammatical accuracy and not paying attention to, well, I pay attention to content, but it's more about form, especially in Spanish 3, what I teach. And in level 3 is where I do a lot of my essay writing. So I'll show you what I have. I'm open to sharing what I have here. So my students, once a month, they do a journal writing for me, and it's usually about different kind of topics. We just finished reading a novel called Viva el Toro, and I had the students assume the place of the protagonist, and they had to write a letter home to their parents in Spanish. So here are some student examples. I'll just kind of fold over. And so the only prompt I have is it has to be about 75 words or more. I give them suggestions of what they can talk about in their letters. So for this prompt, I just told them, talk about who you've met, talk about what elements of bullfighting you've discovered or you've learned about, and then talk about the different kind of things about Spanish schools that are different than American schools. So kind of integrating culture and cultural information into the writing. So they do an in-class writing for me. It's very important that we do these in class because I want to control the level of translation, and I want to control the level of technology that they're going to use if I do this at home. So they do a rough draft for me in class, and I give them about 25 minutes to do this. Then the next day I do a conference for the students. I call them up one by one, and then we actually go through the writing, and I have a paper here. It's called error correction codes. And so what I do is I circle all the different errors, and I talk about those errors with the students. So adjective agreement, accent marks, use of the gerund, the correct gender, all this kind of grammatical kind of things that are very important in the Spanish language. And so I circle them, I put little quotes in them, and we talk about the sentences and what they're trying to convey, and if their sentences have meaning. And then what they do is on a separate sheet of paper or on the back of their essays, they have to rewrite any sentence that has an error. And I've done this a couple different ways. So they either do the method of rewriting every sentence that has an error in it, or I circle 5 errors in their essay, and they fill out this little chart here. I don't know if you can see this or not. They have to rewrite the sentence with the error. They have to explain why that error exists, or why they have to explain why the sentence is wrong. And then the last thing is they have to rewrite the sentence correctly. So I do a mixture of this chart, I do a mixture of the corrections on a piece of paper with all the corrections, and I see that their writing gets a little better every year, especially every month, because they don't want to make as many mistakes, and they don't want to do as many correction codes. So that's how I've seen the writing improve. So I guess that's about it.